Hey there, how are you all doing today? Here we are on our fourth virtual happy hour. Cheers to you guys. You made it, you're here. If you've been on this kind of live webinar before, you know the drill. Go ahead and type in, get ready to do a lot of typing in the chat. Type in where you are calling in from. That way we can see your name, see where you're calling in from. And it's really funny because when I did this 4 weeks ago, we had about 150 people on. It was kind of an impromptu. And then, consecutively every week, it's been a whole lot more. Hello, yay, Eve, Scarlett from Florida. I love Eve's just a yeah. Raeleen, welcome. I'm going to share your story. Patricia, welcome from New York. Okay, you guys are good. Now, I want you to know, everybody, that us West Coast people are taking one for the team today. We are having drinks at 3, a little early for us, but that's okay. Just because we know our East Coast friends, 6 o'clock, we know it's, we don't want it to be too much past happy hour for you. So cheers to you. Mm. I love it. As I wait for everyone to get on, I see a lot of friendly faces, a lot of people I recognize, a lot of new, and I just love it. You are absolutely welcome here. Here's where we've been doing kind of these live, just kind of fun, virtual happy hours. I always need to preface because sometimes right now, I may look blurry to you because the screen takes time to get unblurry. If you don't hear me or if the screen kind of freezes up, we're all using the internet a lot these days, right? I think we can all agree on that. So it could be your internet freezing up. That's why we have that special little reconnect button at the top. Feel free to use it to just reconnect and get back in. I actually use a special webinar system that does not have limits. So, you're always invited. You're my VIP. And if you lose connection, you just jump right in. You don't even need to chat about it. Just jump right in. I'll know when I lose connection because mine will go dark and then I'll jump in. Because sometimes in the past, Scarlett, you've got your wine. Yay! It is 5 o'clock somewhere. You're right, Scarlett. See, you guys are keeping my chat alive, which I love. And that's what we're all doing here. We're all here together to encourage one another, to help each other through the industry. I've got a ton of good stuff to go over today. I've been working hard on it. That's why my hair is not really done up as well as it should be. I got my favorite hat, my Do What You Love hat. I don't know if you can see it on because I don't know about you, but my roots are growing out and I haven't seen my hairdresser in a long time. I have been hunkering at home. So you're going to see me as every week goes by and my gray roots just coming out, right? The natural hair. You know what? If we can't laugh about it, what are you going to do about that part? That's the least of our concerns, right? Amongst this, everything we're going through. So cool. Welcome. I don't know if you guys saw, but in the 15-minute reminder, I gave you an optional fun thing and told you if you could just do a selfie photo of you at your desk or wherever you're at with whatever you're to drink and email it back to me. And I love it. Shout out to Allison Pfeiffer. I don't know if you can see that. She's drinking her Truly. She sent me that email. So I'm going to feature them maybe in next week's virtual happy hours. We'll have a little bit of fun. So, we got someone from Brazil. Yeah, we've got people from all over the world. So when you do email me, just tell me maybe where you're calling in from and just send me that photo. And that way I can share it in next week's happy hour, where I probably won't have as much presentation. I've got a lot of stuff to go in this one presentation. So I am just going to jump right in. I've already told you kind of, yeah, I love it. You guys are awesome. Your comments count. I've got almost 200 of you on. I love it. Okay, I'm going to get to my presentation, drinking your kombucha, Rita, I love it. And let's jump in. I'm going to turn my screen share on. And what I'll usually do is keep my video going, but if it starts to slow down, if my signal's starting to look weak, I can get rid of me on the video because you don't necessarily need to see me in my hat. But I know a lot of you like to see that. So I actually created a whole presentation for you today. I've got a lot of great stuff to go over. So let's take a look at this. Shout out first to Jenny. I just loved this email she sent me. I am so excited to be invited to your webinar with wine in hand. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. I've got reminders set on my calendar as well as wine on her grocery list. I just love that, right? So if you don't know me, we've been doing these since the crisis hit. I just thought, well, what can I do to just give back to the industry as a whole? I'll share a little bit more about me in a bit because I know a lot of you don't know who I am, but here's what I'm going to go over in today's happy hour because I like to be a little bit more structured and anal, and then I take questions all on the way. I'm going to remind you to have a notepad and pencil in front of you because we're going to go over a lot. I'm actually going to give you a lot, and then I'm going to ask that you hold your questions if you can after I go over a section, and then I'll take the question. So you can put a Q on it in the chat room or take a question. If you have commentary or something to share that that's valuable, that worked for you, absolutely, in the chat room. This is an interactive session. It is really a lot of fun that way, and I always keep my presentations and trainings interactive by just chatting away with you really naturally as we have happy hour together. So I had mentioned to you guys in an email that we're going to go over how to connect with agents during this time if you are a stager or a designer. I'm actually going to also talk about, from my designer friends, how you build your business too during this time going in remote. The contact process and approach for success, I'm going to give you my swipe file, my scripts, if you will. Stories of success from the stagers who have used my A to Z guide to going remote, not just stagers, designers too. I have success stories for both. Takeaways from those stories and kind of how you can kind of create your own approach. The gift of time and how we can use it. How to offer virtual staging if you must, because I have been getting questions about that, so we'll talk about it. And of course, like I said, Q&As from all over. We might be able to get to photos, but I got a lot of good stuff to give to you. And then if we have time, we can look at some photos because I love to share work that you all do. I am also, at the end of this, I have links and resources from this happy hour. So, you may be saying, wait a minute, I missed that link. Don't worry. I included it in a swipe file that you're going to download at the end. And I say at the end because I've sometimes released the file early and the whole thing crashed. I don't want that. I want you to see the presentation and then get the swipe file. So stay till the end and you'll be able to download that really easily. It's just a Word doc with special links and things and swipe files and scripts and stuff that I'm going over in this training for you. So does that sound good to you? You can go ahead in the chat room, say yes. All those things sound good, hopefully. Great. That leads me to my first survey for you guys. So I'm going to see if I can. Great. You guys are all still there. I'm looking in the chat room. Great. I'm going to do a poll right now. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you guys are great. People are still coming in. I love it. So I'm going to start this poll, and I really want you guys to let me know which best describes you, because it really helps me to know who all is on these lines and how I can tailor what I'm going to talk to you about in this session, because I always get a big mixed bag of whether you're a stager or a lot of, I say my members, HSR member, whether you're a stager, whether you're a new stager. So in my poll, it's, are you a stager that you've been staging at least a year? And then if you're a new stager, kind of under a year. And then if you're just looking into the staging industry, because in my past happy hours, I was kind of neglecting folks like that. And I shouldn't have been doing that, because this downtime gives us a lot of time to think about what we want to do with our lives, right? So I should have known. And right now I can see from this poll, thank you guys for putting into the poll, I can see that you're still putting your votes in. So I'm going to give you a moment to put your votes in, but I can see that about 44% of you are more seasoned stagers. 30% of you are under a year, new stagers, and 25% of you are looking into the industry. That fires me up. Oh my gosh, it's like a third, a third, a third. So I'm speaking to all of you. So I want you all, no matter where you are on that spectrum, to be patient with one another when I speak to you at different levels. So hopefully you guys all get that. Great, thank you for that poll. I'm going to go back to my chat room so I can watch you guys chat. Okay, yes, I love it. I love it, you guys. Remember, so I have been doing a lot of learning myself during this time. And one of, how many of you guys have heard of Amy Porterfield? Amy Porterfield is kind of a pretty popular speaker on marketing and how to create courses. Obviously, I'm in training. I have my own course. And anyway, she's a neighbor of mine too. And so she did a podcast. She's actually a very good podcast. So for those of you that are into podcasts, her most recent one, and I have the link for you, is on how to pivot your online business in a crisis, or just how to pivot your business. And that's kind of what I've been talking to you guys about in the last few weeks. I've given you my guide, walking you through pivoting. But the thing that she mentioned that really hit home with me was this phrase. And it said, you may not have the gift of time, or no, you may not have the gift of an income right now, but you do have the gift of time. Now, some of us have the gift of an income and some, don't, but we do have that gift of time. All of us have had to take a pause in our lives, right? So my big question is, and this really resonated with me, I hope it kind of resonates with you, how will you plan to use it? Because somebody inspired me after last week's happy hour, Deirdre. She actually signed up for my training program after last week's happy hour. And her story really resonated with me. So I got to share it with you because it kind of speaks to people who are looking into the industry. She's like, good afternoon. When people sign up for my program, I do an interview, a getting to know you form. And I ask, how did you hear of us, Home Staging Resource? And she said, I can't remember. I just remember it was the summer of 2018 when I decided to leave my first real job out of college. She was a senior associate at a public accounting firm and really unhappy. She became an accountant because she wanted to be a professional with a steady income, but after 6 years in public accounting, she knew it wasn't for her. She did a ton of soul searching and that's when she stumbled upon my site, which is interesting. She stumbled upon staging and design. She was hooked. And the person I describe, I always say, you're a stager and designer if you've been rearranging rooms since you were a kid. So how many of you in the chat room have been rearranging rooms since you were a kid? That's usually my one common denominator. Everybody who gets into staging and design, it's like that early passion of us rearranging our dollies, or just loving our our Barbie houses, right? So anyway, that's what she said. So it really resonated with her. Um, Down to her core, she was a creative person. She even danced as a child. She took all the art classes, but she went that type A. And her story resonated with me because I was the same way. I would have been an English lit and design major in college if I had a choice, but I was in business, took the practical route. And that's kind of what she did. And to go more into it, she said she kind of switched into industry accounting. And now she's at this job, interestingly, where she can work remotely but still do her job. She's still itching for that creativity. Interestingly enough, she's been doing all these webinars with me for the last 2 years. And finally, after 2 years of following my free training, my webinars, my virtual happy hours, she pulled the plug last week. And that's what got me into thinking, oh my gosh, I bet I have people on the line that are thinking about this industry. So I need to address them and I need to encourage them like Deirdre here. So she said she couldn't be more excited. It's a perfect time. Here's what I love that she said. Why waste all this quarantine downtime on puzzles and trash TV when I could be going through your training and teeing up my business? Am I right? And I love how she said that. She's teeing up her business. So whether you're a new stager, whether you're thinking about staging or just starting a business during this time like Deirdre, or you're an advanced stager, this is a time for us to tee up our business. And I just love that she said that. In other words, it's a long-winded answer to tell you she can't remember when she heard, but she couldn't get it out of her mind. And everything happens for a reason. And I'm kind of like Deirdre. I do believe things do happen for a reason, as strange as all of this is, right? For all of us. But it is a strange time in our life that we will be talking about, history. I tell my boys this all the time. Your kids will be asking, how did you go through that pandemic, right? It's a strange time for all of us. And then, of course, I went on and I asked her, why'd you choose us? And she said, because she liked that I always had a glass of wine in my hand. This is called the law of attraction, right? So, which I kind of laughed when she said that. But really getting down to brass tacks, I love that she's kind of planning her life. When I asked her what her hopes and goals were, her goal, she's kind of a young, kind of a newbie out of accounting. She's working her day job, but work kind of creating this side hustle. And she wants to, when she eventually wants to be staying at home and has her own kids, she wants to have that flexibility in a job, which I love that. She's taking this moment, this pause in her life right now to plan her future. She does not have kids right now, but she's thinking about what that time will look like for her and how she wants that to be. And she wants to be exercising her creativity. So how many of you, I kind of love this. It kind of inspired me. I was in the same way. Like, I don't want to do that 8 to 5. I want something freeing when I have my kiddos. How many of you, this story kind of resonates with you a little bit too? I had to include it. So one of the links that I'm putting in the download is my roadmap to becoming a stager. I'm putting, for those of you who are, that third of you who are interested in the industry, that's going to be in the download. And it's just a step-by-step. Here's the first steps that you do. And it's just free. I know. See, a lot of you, I get it. Her story resonated with me too. And that's why I'm like, this was a week ago. I gotta include it. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm going to go really quickly. I'm Audra Slinky. I have been training stagers and designers since 2006. So I've been doing this forever. I love it. It's an incredible industry. I've shared the stage with Barbara Corcoran, Sabrina Soto, Vern Yip at RESA conventions. So if you see this logo of anyone who's a stager and designer, that's my person. They've gone through my training. After I did that training, I created a color training because a lot of my stagers said, I want your input on color and I want to go into color consulting. And then I did an e-design. And I have to preface this because some people don't realize. So I have 3 trainings and I talk about different instances in these happy hours about people from those trainings to give you ideas for your own business. So that's why I had to throw it in there. I love Raeleen says, wow, there's like 248 of us in this group. That's a big happy hour. Yeah, this is our largest. We're social distancing, right, Raeleen? I love that. All right, so here's my website. And for those of you, if this is your first happy hour and you may be like, this is the 4th one. Oh no, I missed them. Don't worry, I am posting them on my site. So homestagingresources.com. And last week I shared stories of how stagers are pivoting, and I walked you through I added to this process that I've added, this A to Z guide I have there. It's free. So if you want to go there, some of the stuff I'm going to talk about are on this guide, but I'm assuming that most of you on this line have downloaded that guide and you're using it for your business. And in fact, that leads me to my next poll. I'm going to ask you guys, oh, Leslie, I'm glad you're here. First, I'm going to end this poll and I'm going to ask you guys let me see if I can go to the other poll. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Never mind. I was going to ask you, I can just ask you in the chat room. How many of you guys have been offering remote services, staging or design services to clients, especially after going through my A to Z guide? Yeah, Angela, I worked really hard on that, and I was thinking of just doing it for my members, but that's not fair. It's kind of getting into the spirit of what we're doing here. We're helping our industry as a whole. We're lifting everybody up, helping us all be able to do our jobs from a remote standpoint. So I have kind of the whole series on my site so that you guys can go there. I love it. So a lot of you have been doing remote. Not yet, but I will. Alfred, okay, good. Somebody said they're bad. There's no guilt here. There's no guilt in happy hour, right? So my very first post that I released a month ago when all this hit the fan, I have to circle back to. It was an email I sent to you all if you've been on my email list for more than a month. And I just wanted to say again, this is temporary. We're all in this together. We're all impacted, and together we can be stronger. And I always have to refer to that. And I kind of used this kind of 4 Ps, my 4P formula. This is kind of how I'm trying to ride this out. And it's kind of a equation for my business, my family, my community. And it's number 1, to be prepared. Number 2, to have perspective. When I laugh about my hair, that's having perspective, right? That if that's the least, I'm not sick, that's okay. Then number 3, productivity, to be productive in this time if I can. And number 4, positivity. Jan asked, where's the A to Z guide? I mentioned homestagingresources.com. At the very top, it'll say, how to grow your business. It's right there at the very top header, the guide is. But I also have a link in the download I'm going to give you today, just so you know. I'm glad that you guys like it. Thanks, Roberta. So it's just, again, getting back to that. Oh, here, Jan, getting to it. If you go to homestagingresources.com, at the very top, how to work remotely, get the guide. You can't miss it. Just got to come to my website, and it's free. It's free. It's free for all stagers, designers. I've actually had a lot of designers tell me how useful this is. What's in the guide? You have to watch my hour-long training. It was the very first, it was the second happy hour I gave, and it really sets the mindset and tone for how we need to approach our clients. So really make sure you watch that. Don't just jump in and get the scripts, because then it won't appear authentic. I want you to appear authentic to your, not appear, I want you to be authentic to your clients. So in that Canva, in that guide, I give you these Canva templates, and I also walk you through what Canva is. Canva is free. It is the best resource for any new business owner. I am in love with it, and I always give my resources and materials to my members in template so they can take something like this. Like, this is one thing I gave you guys, is this checklist and these pretty images, totally for you to use. You don't even need to swap the images. So that's in this guide. And in the guide, it's on the step right here. I have the 7 steps to set up. It was this step: access your Canva 1, 2, 3 step imagery. And I had a lot of people share some cool ideas. So here's what that 1, 2, 3 looked like that I originally gave you guys. This is in Canva. And here it was one for staging. It was one for design. I'm going to walk you through how to use this with your clients, because so many of my people, my girls in Stagers Connect. So Stagers Connect is a private Facebook group from my training. So we have this world that we work in, that we're always sharing. And so Jennifer Moorhead shared this. I told her I'd share it. This is the same form. Can you believe this? She took that form, and in Canva, you can change all the coloring, you can change all the word, and she put her own image. And okay, Smarty, of course, I should have had this on the image for you guys. So I'm just giving you the good idea. Make sure if you haven't, it's Patty asked the question, is it full screen? You can go full screen. Well, this is the most full screen I can go. So when you watch the replay, you're going to have to try and go full screen or watch this on a computer. It's a little harder to see. But the idea is that she could completely change this, and she put her information on there. So I want you to do that. Another gal shared Home Styling Studio. She shared hers. Look how pretty hers is. Yeah, Raeleen. So this is just to inspire you guys. Take that Canva template that I gave you. Mine's now looking really hideous compared to the way these girls reworked it. And this is kind of a starting point for introducing your services to your clients. So here's a story of Melissa Mendelson. I love it. In Stagers Connect, this is what she did to the guide. She actually added a background pattern, which I thought looked cool. Her 4 steps to staging success. And she said, I wanted to extend my heartfelt thanks to Audra for all the guidance and support during these challenging times while we're trying to keep our businesses afloat. Whether it's a 30-minute complimentary discovery staging call or a design call, it feels great to be able to give back during this time and help any way we can. How many of you feel that way? Like right now, I'm just like, how can I give back? How can I help my community? Do you guys sometimes feel that way? Yes, it's always best, Virginia, to use Canva or anything that I have on a computer where you could see a big screen. But how many of you guys feel that way? You feel like a little helpless sitting at home and you want to be able to give back. Well, this is kind of what I mentioned in the guide. And this is what Melissa said she was so grateful for, that she was able to take this and give back to her clients. So she shared a post that she created a Facebook business in her Facebook business page and LinkedIn. She shared this post, and the post went like this. So you guys can swipe this file. Unique times call for a unique approach. Let us help. So she basically took my swipe file from the guide. Staging Properties is offering remote home staging services designed for sellers preparing their homes for today's market. Click on the following link to schedule your complimentary 30-minute thing. And she included her scheduling link, which I walked you guys through in the guide how to do that, how to automate that scheduling. What's really cool is I'm like, wow, I love this. Okay, what was your response? And she said, yeah, she got a response right away from one of her brokers who worked with her in the past, saw her Facebook. So she didn't even throw it out to brokers. She didn't even email it to people. She just posted it on her Facebook page, guys. This is what I love about this. And he saw it, and he called her right away and was just like, this is awesome. He scheduled a discovery call with one of his sellers, and then they already booked a 2-hour consultation. So the way I outline it in the A to Z guide is the discovery call, the 30 minutes, is kind of your way of giving back, encouraging the seller that they can do this during this time, encouraging the agent that they can do this during this time, giving them some good tips in a 30-minute window, because remember, it's free. And if they need more than that, then they can go with the consultation. And so that's kind of the way we structured it. So I love this. And so she went on further to say she was obviously very nervous, but it's okay. That's why I say I'm always very transparent with you guys. I am nervous because every time I do one of these happy hours, I've never gone through this presentation. It is raw. I'm just throwing out information that I can give to you guys as fast as I can to help you with your business. But you can read this. She connected the call not just with the broker, but with the painter. They're all on the same page with timelines. The call went super well. They were asking her recommendations. She even gave recommendations on paint colors. She explained her step-by-step process, including her communication, her follow-up, because she had it already outlined from taking my guide. And she also included the Dropbox share folder for them to give her their photos. So all that, by the way, if you're wondering what that is, it's all in the guide. So as far as how the broker positioned it with his clients, he introduced her to part of his teams and then just piggybacked it. So I thought that was really smart. She gave some good ideas. And the whole point he introduced saying we're all in this together. explained it absolutely critical to follow our recommendations and piggyback that. All right. So, and I love that his approach was, our overall message is we're working as a team, taking a team approach and leaving no stone unturned in preparing your home for this market. How many of you guys love that? I love that the agent is very smart. He's bringing together his team people, putting them together and connecting them to help the sellers, right? How many of you can relate to that? Go ahead and put yes in the chat room. Remember, save your questions at the end when I take them, because I have a plan for you, don't worry. So in the guide, to share more stories, I have where you went to download it, and the download link will be on the, if you haven't gotten this guide, it's in the thing. I'm going to give you the file at the end. But at the bottom, I actually am getting comments from you. So I want you to share your comments, what's working, what's not working. That way I can address them in there and help you too. Yes, team approach. I love that, Elaine. And also gotten some really good comments from people who are even expanding the guide into doing other things with their business, which I kind of loved. But Anne mentioned that she used the A to Z guide to do her first design consultation. It took 30 minutes, and then they were going to talk more. She used FaceTime. The client sent her 4 photos, which were plenty. She's using the design program from HSR, Canva and Acuity, so she kind of had it all built in. And she got actually a full design package out of it. So not only, it was kind of encouraging, not only as somebody from staging, but also design. So I love that. So she said it was really pretty seamless. She got the measurements. It is going to be a little bit tricky, but she made it work. And how many of you guys, if you were on my call from last week, Raeleen is even on this call, Raeleen said that she's doing her first consultation, and it was a color consult. And I know a lot of you guys were like, wow, okay, color might be tricky. And she actually had some feedback to give me on that. I can see some of you guys have questions, so I'm going to talk with you. Christy, FaceTime has been working well. I love FaceTime. I actually also love Zoom in last week's virtual happy hour. And I'm going to send you the replay. It's in that file I'm going to give you. I walk you through how you can actually set up Zoom so it's automated through Acuity. So your Zoom, and Zoom is free. But Zoom actually sends them just a link, so they don't have to download, and it can be recorded. So the thing that I'm struggling with FaceTime is it's not as easily recorded if you wanted to record that consultation. It's up to you. So I was just going over a little bit of tech for you all. And save your questions, guys, because I'm going to go through some of these stories to inspire you, get your wheels turning, and then we can handle questions, because I really want to hit them. So she said, she got on the Zoom line. So Raeleen's following my process. They chatted about the office. First, they did a sit down. I like that Raeleen did this. She first just sat down with the client and talked to them for a bit. And then she switched over to the phone, the client did, and walked her through the house with the Zoom. And then they kind of worked up paint colors. She had an autumn theme in the house, so she knew to kind of stick with that. She looked at all the fixed finishes. Obviously, Raeleen has taken my color training because she mentions the pink beige undertone and how she used that kind of framework to educate the client on better choices that they could make when it comes to paint colors right now. And she really just helped them through it all, which I kind of love it. She was able to do a color consult on the phone. And is now doing a design files 2D board for her. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk. Last week I talked about this, and I know I see a couple questions from you. So this is good. We can take it. I talked to you about that stair-step approach. It's not a mass email approach necessarily. It's a more personalized, because these are tricky times right now. So I mentioned this stair-step kind of marketing approach where these are strange times. How can I help you? And that's kind of the framework of the A to Z guide. And I kind of walked you through how you kind of slowly build that up. It's not necessarily we're hardcore selling this. We're not. This is a time where we can give back. A lot of you said you wanted to, and it's not giving back saying, oh, Audra, I don't work for free. I get it, guys. Hey, I don't work for free, but I'm doing free happy hours every week right now. And I'm doing them because the industry and people need our help right now. And that's okay. This is a unique time. So I mentioned that last week in the Zoom call. Let me talk about, where I walked you through using Zoom. Zoom is automated. One of you guys had a question on Acuity automated emails. It's actually really simple in Acuity. If you pay for the $15 a month, you can set up auto emails. pre and post. And I actually gave you the scripts of some of those auto emails in my guide. Now, one question I got was, yeah, Kristen asked that for the automated emails. So Kristen, you just go into the email on the dashboard and Acuity on the bottom under email. Just feel your way. You'll see there's emails pre and post. They let you send, I think, 2 pre and like 4 post emails, which is like a perfect funnel. If you just want to keep it simple, because one of you said you're having issues with MailChimp or whatever. I agree. I like to keep my tech as simple as possible, and Acuity lets you just automate all of that follow-up. The only thing that can't be automated is that specific Dropbox folder that you're sending to the client, right? Because it's customized to them. So you'll have to send that email on your own. You know, somebody asked me that question earlier. Yeah, that can't be generic, but everything else email-wise can be generic. Okay, so let's moving forward. So this leads me to the question that I saw Donna just ask. Audra, how do I reach my friends and agents about my new remote services? How do I do it? Donna just left. I saw you, Donna, in the chat room. Love you. I know who you are. And she said she sent a kind of a mass email and just didn't get as many responses. I get it. People are still a little shell-shocked. So I'm going to introduce something a little bit interesting to you today. Are you guys ready to be a little bit more bold in your marketing? Go ahead in the chat room and put yes if you're ready for this. I'm waiting to make sure you're ready to be bold. Put yes in the chat. All right. I'm going to throw out something pretty bold. I love it. Julie, you were on it. She's my first. Okay. And I'm going back to, yes, someone's afraid. I love it. Strange times call for unique ways for us to market a little bit, right? And I'm going to introduce something really unique that I personally, I think if you frame it in the way that my first video walked you through, in a helping way, not in a salesy way, this is the way you might get some great response. All right, you ready for this? I love it, Jennifer. Let's do this. I'm going to describe a new way for you to do it, but I'm also going to ask you guys, because we're all in this together, and I'm giving you a lot of helpful tips, and all of my girls in Stagers Connect are giving you helpful tips. If this is working for you, I really want to get your feedback. So you do email me. I shouldn't say this because my email's been acting wonky and I haven't even gotten to some of my emails today, but I will want to see your email feedback if you are ready to take this challenge. This is a challenge for you. And it goes like this, and I'm going to give you the scripts, don't worry. You are going to Facebook message, if you'd like, your friends with this message I'm going to walk you through with a link and an image. You are going to Facebook message some agents with this script I'm going to give you, and I'll walk you through. And I don't recommend you message more than 20 people at a time, right? Facebook Messenger, unless you're pretty familiar with that. How many of you guys, I should preface, when you get a message on Facebook Messenger, you read it? How many of you do it? Oops. Go ahead in the chat room if you do. My signal's strong, so yeah, we all read those, don't we? So I'm talking about a very bold way to market, but this is a unique time. So let's walk you through what that looks like. I gave you this image. When the agent replies, then you can reply to them with your Acuity link and introduce a strategy call. You're not throw in an email to 2,000 of your readers necessarily. You could do that, and some people have gotten it. Like I said, Melissa threw it on her page. I've seen people put things on their Facebook page, but I like the idea of a personal approach, and that's what I'm going to walk you through. Here is your script to message friends and people that you want, that you could see, clients that you could see yourself wanting to work with. And this script is in that file I'm going to give you. Here's the secret. You've got to copy and paste it. So you're going to copy and paste this hey name, hey, and obviously you're going to put their name. I know these are strange times for all of us, and you are doing your part by staying in, which is awesome. All right, we're giving them a little kudos. While inside, you've probably gotten a bit antsy on fixing up your home, am I right? I was feeling the same, so I thought it might be nice to offer free design guidance calls to friends to help you love your home during this staying in time a bit more. No pressure, but I thought it might be helpful, and I wanted to do my small part in all of this. After you paste that, insert your favorite emoji. I love emojis, and emojis get traffic. And then you just put here's a link to book your free guidance call. And for those of you who already know from my A to Z guide, you've set that up on Acuity. Acuity is free. And you insert your Acuity link, and then you insert your 123 image in the messenger. Elaine, thank you, Elaine. You're one step ahead of me. You're quick, girl. I could tell. And Julie, you've already personally messaged. You are way ahead of the game too. Robin, I love this. Yeah. So again, we're not being aggressive. This is not, you can't do this with a heart of wanting to sell, and, we can't do that. And that's why if you need to rewatch my whole A to Z video that kind of puts you in the right mindset of you are going to spend wasted time with people 30 minutes on a call probably right now. And but most of you have the time to do it and you're creating goodwill. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you're not comfortable, then fine, don't. But I do believe that people value the gift of things from other people. And I do believe that when you give time to somebody, you usually get something in return. And it doesn't necessarily mean, and I said this in the guide, that person's going to buy from you, but it does mean that they will probably refer to you, because if you give them some tips and help, guess what they're going to do right now? They're going to text their friend, oh my gosh, I had the best phone call with so-and-so, and she helped me do this, this, and this, and now my living room just looks so much better, right? So that's it. They're going to refer you. So go ahead. I love this. How helpful is it? I love how it is more helpful than the salesy approach. Thank you, Ayana. Any other comments? I mean, any questions on this? It is a great time to practice, get your name out there. Yes, Judy, get referrals. Absolutely. Yeah, Scarlett. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not encouraging, this is a unique time. This is nothing you're going to continue to do for your business. It's just unique time for design. Past clients specifically would be great. I agree. You're being very choosy who you're offering this to. I love it. If you have any comments, or if I know as your wheels are turning, go ahead and throw them in. Creativity for anybody else. Yeah, Rajiv, you're on the money. Yeah, thank you. I just was thinking this, and it's, you've got your Acuity scheduler, so you only have so much time, but what we have is time. So if you're going to be eating into some of your Netflix or other things, it's not a bad idea. It's a great way to get back. Okay, good. Okay, so you guys got that. Now let's talk about the script for agents, because agents are a little bit different. So for those of you in staging with agents, kind of what Melissa did with her broker, Eve said it just right, coming in with a heart to serve. Courtney, she just connected with a financial planner who used the exact method. She didn't need her services, but she's recommended her to many friends. I love that, Courtney, right? So it is. I saw that. My dentist used kind of a similar method and sent me an email, and I loved it. I'm going to refer him and use him when I need to. So Virginia, I get that we all need, income. And actually I have in my guide the 2 ways for you to get the loans right now. That's in the guide. I have direct information where people can get that. But the whole reason why I recommend kind of free, you're getting people that unless you're busy working, then great, you're doing it. But if you're not, and you're wanting to rewrite or reframe some of what you're doing and get more clients, this is an idea for you. In my training, the one thing all my members know they're never to do is do anything for free. They know that. So the only reason why I'm recommending just the 30-minute guidance call, because if you know how to do your job right, that 30 minutes turns into 2 hours. Every single example that I showed you turned into a job. So Virginia, who said she can't do anything for free, if 30 minutes gets you a full design job, is it free? Not necessarily. Yeah. And unemployment is a good one too. But seriously, you don't have to. You can, usually people get it. It snowballs. Like Raeleen said, I love it. It is planting seeds. Absolutely. So we have to put ourselves in that mindset. So here is the message that I'm giving you, the script. Feel free to change it up, right? And don't send it to thousands of agents. You're picking and choosing a handful of people that you've worked with before, that you like, because we're all in this together. They're mad scrambling too, by the way. We're all having, adjusting to this new norm, right? So it's just kind of, here's the message to the agents. Hey, I know these times are tough for home sellers, and really appreciate all that you're doing to meet their needs. You're awesome. So again, acknowledging this agent for the help that they're giving. So you're giving this to the agents you know are doing that. I'm sending you this message, this image I created to help you with your current sellers and remote listing presentations in order to encourage them during this time. With the right staging, photos, and price, they can still sell their home. No pressure, but thought it might be helpful since my other agents loved it. Hope it helps. And in that one, you're just going to include the image, right? So you're just giving them something of value. Thank you, Angela. I'm glad I saved you time. Yeah. Good. Okay, you guys have too many good questions. You got to stop asking me questions. Save your question for a moment. I'm going to go over them. Okay, I just want to get through this important information before I tackle questions to your situation. If the agent replies in the messenger, which I imagine most of them will, then that's a good time to say, I'm happy to chat further in a strategy call with you. If you'd like to set that up, here's the link. And again, you guys know from my A to Z guide, you have a strategy link for your agents. Okay, that easy. Try 20 and see how that goes. Here's what it looks like. I actually just messaged my other account, but this is what it looks like if you guys don't know. And here's the message. So you're being very strategic. Go to your friends on Facebook, and the agent friends that you have, those are the ones you're going to message, and your other friends. And yeah. Thank you, Leslie. Being an agent is not easy, especially at this time. And it is a tricky time, and they know this is limited. And they are going to remember the stagers and designers who stepped up and were not silent during this time. I'm just going to tell you, I know I'm remembering the companies that are doing good things right now, and I'm not really liking the ones that aren't. So this is what it looks like. You have to copy and paste it, guys. You have to copy and paste my script in order, because if you hit an enter, it'll just send it to them, and you don't want to do that. Yeah. And then you include the checklist. See how easy that is. So the next question I know I'm going to get from some of you is, Audra, after my guidance call, how should I structure my staging consultation? And that was kind of what Virginia said. I need money. This is where, I have to say, you don't reinvent, you just follow how you were trained. In my training, I'm very specific. My members know exactly how to do the consultation and how to structure it. So I've told my members, like I have in this conversation, when they do the 30 minutes, we follow 8 steps in each room of the home so that buyers feel home. That 30-minute call is going to cover step 1 and 2, the first impression step and the eliminating clutter step. So they are your clients. This is for my HSR members. They're going to know in that 30 minutes all the stuff they can eliminate. That's a really good start in preparing their home, right? Now they also know there's another 6 steps that they might want to follow. So that's just an automatic upsell. But if you were trained through anyone else, you know the process. Don't reinvent, just follow that. Yes, Andrea, I have the 1, 2, 3 pick is for agents too. You just tailor it. It's in the Canva. Good question. Let me see where I'm at here, because I want to encourage you guys, when this is over, the housing market is going to be booming. That's why this industry is so good right now for us. It is going to be booming. I don't know if you've noticed, but last month the housing prices actually went up. They didn't actually even go down. So it was really strange. And the reason why I've been saying this is what I've been saying all along. The reason why the housing market's booming is because there's a huge shortage in supply of homes. For too long after the bubble burst, builders didn't build. So they're building now, but there's still a shortage. So I want to give you hope that you've got this window of time to come out of the gate with really goodwill to your agents and to your clients and to your friends. Don't waste it. It gives you this unique marketing opportunity to be that kind of good person. So let me go back and I'll take questions on this right now. If any of you guys have a question, I'll take it. Just on this stuff, because then I'm going to get on to something else. There are many buyers in the market and many people need to sell, and they've been preparing to sell crazy. Deborah, you're absolutely right. In fact, I've heard from a lot of my stagers that the agents still want them to get into the homes, and they're just like, how do I say no? Well, you have to say no for the safety of yourself and for your clients. You can't go face to face. I mean, this is just what we're all doing, and this too shall pass, right? But there is a way we can easily do it remotely. Any other questions? And all right, best time to buy after a market crash. Well, I can't say it's necessarily going to crash, Judy. I haven't really seen the housing. I think it's just been really paused. Everybody's paused everything they did. Leslie's never offered a paint color consult without being in the client space, so I can see the paint color in the home's lighting because light affects the color. Isn't this difficult? Leslie, it is difficult and it's not ideal, but that's the conversation you have with your clients, because right now a lot of people are doing DIY projects. I had a friend, they just painted their master bathroom 3 times because they blew it, so they needed help. So this is just a way that we can help them, right? And we just explain that. Are there contractors' home improvement stores open? Jessica, yes, they are. Home Depot's been very full, still is, because construction is considered essential. Melissa, great question. Do you recommend this for starting out? Melissa, I think there's so much. Speaking to my new stagers, I want to encourage you. Now is a great time for you to set that business foundation for success. So if you're in my training right now, just starting, this is a great time. Go through every detail of those 3 weeks, set up your site, work your portfolio. You've given this perfect pause time. So I don't want you to skip ahead, Melissa. You don't have to kind of mad scramble. You could just do exactly what you were meant to do, and that is set that up for success. If you have time, go through the A to Z guide and just test it out. Send it out to a few clients and see what happens. It actually might be a great way for you to launch your business. People are buying now and remote services are hot, hot, hot. Another question. Kelly's been doing this for existing design clients. I love it, with photos and phone call only. Limit to 1 room. That's a great tip, Kelly. I love it. She's just set it up. Could we use WeChat to market on the Facebook Messenger? Eve, probably. I don't know. I don't know WeChat. Sorry. Probably. Raeleen, good tip. She's asking about south facing, north facing. Raeleen, obviously, she went through my color training. You use your color training, wherever training you went through, the jargon to educate them. You're empowering them along the way. And when you do that, you're building your credibility. Let's see. I have an agent friend doing closings from their cars. Oh, wow. That's interesting, Susan. Cheryl, I'm so caught up in the training and perfecting. What would be the first step to jump in? Great question, Cheryl. She's really loving her training. I always say don't agonize over the too many details. You just sometimes just got to go for it. So Cheryl, why not just jump in? If you've already got your foundation, you know what I mean by that, laid out, why not just jump in? Because this is a good time for you to even let friends know that, this is new to you right now, but you know you have a gift. All of you guys told me you've been designing and redoing your room since you were a kid. You all told that to me. That is your gift. That is your creative passion. That's your compass. Use it. This is a time to use it, especially if you're brand new. That's what I'm doing as a trainee, getting everything set up and organized. Liz, I love it. Good job. Nadia, can you go over all the classes you offer? Nadia, I actually offer staging and design training. That's a 3-week course. An e-design training that's kind of on top of that, and a color training. I will send you the link at the end of this. It's homestagingresources.com. You'll see it. And I always say to people, if you liked what you learned, I've had a lot of people just in this hour of time that we spent, you're really going to love my training, because my training is all of this, all outside of the box thinking for your business. Good. Okay, good, Wendy. She got her MailChimp set up. What if your before and afters aren't professional? Sarah, guess what, Sarah? You've got time right now. Do a corner of your guest room. People always say that to me, but you know what? Use, this is your time to finesse your art, your vignette, get that corner going, and your photography skills. And I always say on my little phone, I love that, what is that setting? It's that, the really close up one. You'll notice that one of the sheets, the 1, 2, 3 sheets that Jennifer shared, she just did a little vignette photo, which I thought looked great. Remember the green one? Ellen, you do rooms in your own home if you have to. She asked about the portfolio as well. You need, people need to see the way you work. You have to show it. So this is the time to do it. Sarah says she's building her website. Any suggestions? Sarah, I do sites for people. We have a website product. It's called a premium website. It's $6.99 on top of the training. I only give it to people I train, because we don't make any money on it, but it's the technology's just it's just booming that we use. It's called Thrive Themes, and we build that into all of the sites that we create, and it's just sites for stagers. So go look at some of our example templates and you'll get all sorts of great ideas for how to set that up. I could do a lesson just on websites. I love that sort of stuff. Yes, Allison, using Canva makes you look so much more professional. I know I'm handling a lot of questions here. I love it. Okay. All right. I had another idea, and I'm just going to throw this out to you because one industry that's been really hit hard is the Airbnb industry. And I'm especially throwing this out to my members because I have an Airbnb training in my training, so you guys know how to price and structure, but they've been hit really hard. So I had this crazy idea. This was just like an hour ago on how we can even approach some property managers who handle Airbnbs right now and say, this is probably a good time because things aren't being rented out for them to get things redialed in. So whether they want to do a design board, so for my e-designers, you can do a design board for them, shopping, so they can do an installer and shopping and get it rephotographed. Because again, everybody's taking that pause. So this might be for those of you who have that niche. I know some of you do. It's just an idea. Yeah, the Airbnb market. This is the time for all of us to think out of the box. It's fun, right? This is where we adapt. This is where we pivot. We can do this. And the beauty of the staging industry is we absolutely can. So this leads me to my final thing, and I'm going to go quickly through this, guys. Sorry, because you guys were great, and I still got all of you on the line, which is wonderful. I got Diane had a question. She sent me an email, one of my members. She's getting inquiries from agents who want to know if she can embed furniture through technology into the photos for a vacant property. Basically virtual staging. Now, virtual staging, I'm going to talk about this. If so, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to charge. Can you help me? How many of you have been getting these questions about, can you virtual stage for me? How many of you have been I've seen even in some of the stagers groups, people talk about this. I'm going to tackle this right now for you. How many of you, first I want to see if it's even relevant to you, because if it's not, then we don't necessarily need to, but I thought instead of emailing Diane back, okay, good. Yeah, some have wondered. So I always say before we jump in, let's be really clear about what virtual staging is and isn't. I've written a post on this. It is on my blog, but I define virtual staging as when photos of rooms in a home are altered and or digitally edited to add, remove furnishings, features, or paint color for the benefit of online marketing on the multiple listing service, right? This is for multiple listing service where the agent gives you empty photos of the rooms and you embed furniture. And some agents are turning to it to save a buck because it's cheaper than vacant staging. Okay. Yeah. So I love that you guys have a few words to say on that. I love it. Save the questions till I end of this section. So it's very different than e-design. When I talk about e-design, my e-design training is basically a springboard to design. It's really easy after a design call to say, after your 30 minutes guidance call for my e-designers to say, if you'd like, I could spend a few hours. I have a design package where I can source out, now that I've seen your space, perfect items that you can shop for online, buy, and your place will be totally dialed in a couple hours, right? That's an easy upsell for my e-designers, and that's how they do it. So it's different than e-design because e-design looks like this. So when I talk about e-design for design plans for clients, this is really, it's making interior design jobs fast and fun. So most people who take my e-design course, they're interior designers trying to make their job more efficient because I walk through the technology needed to do it. They have these awesome design boards because they get my library of boards. The client then also gets the product link so they can either just shop it themselves or shop it through you, however you want to structure it. But it's amazing technology and it's really easy. And even within the e-design technology, you can take a design board like that and you can put it in a 2D like this, which kind of almost looks like virtual staging. And then that's why people get kind of confused about, wait, can I use design files for virtual staging? And should I, or, I get it. So here's, according to my post, here's my stance on virtual staging. I think it's and I'm talking about this now because times are strange, right? These are strange times. And I know those agents typically probably wouldn't even be looking at it, but they feel like they have to because nobody can go into the homes, right? So you as the stager want to give them the answers that they need. So first you preface by saying, from a staging standpoint, most virtual staging photos, they still look a little fake. I'm going to show you some. They're not ideal, but at least they're, maybe better than nothing right now. And that's probably the agent's thinking. But virtual staging is also kind of a huge letdown when buyers see the space in person. I mean, that's the reason why it just doesn't fit with staging. So I'm going to show you some of the virtual staging options that you can have. But here is straight off their website, one of their pad styler, I think it's called. And I'm going to show you that. one of their virtual stage. So you can see, and it's probably not big enough for you, but it still looks a little off. It's truly not like when my stagers get in, but it's maybe better than nothing, right? That's one of theirs. Some would say that virtual staging can be deceptive, so it has to be prefaced in a listing because agents could get into trouble, possibly if they don't say, because if the buyer sees that and they think, the colors are off, you really can't change the color or anything. You put some furniture in there, but I've seen sometimes them completely change it up, and you can't do that because that would be deceptive, right? The buyer doesn't want to walk in and then the room's empty and it's a different paint color. That would be awful. Virtual staging's not really staging at all, my opinion, because it lacks emotion, right? So we all know this. We all know that it's not ideal. And here's another example of, it was on the homepage of their site. So these are their best examples. I think this is what I mean by lacking emotion. It still looks a little cartoony. I mean, how many of you think this would be a way you would stage the space? Probably none of us would. It's with a giant red circular ottoman, not. But in these strange times, Diane sent me this email because she's trying to be a solution. Okay. So here's kind of here are your options. I would say this: you're not going to immediately turn into this expert Photoshop person overnight for your clients. That really should not be your solution right now. But to be a solution for a client, one thing you can do is be a go-between, and you can outsource it to the companies that do this. These are the companies that do it. Pad Styler, Box Brownie, VHT, and VRX Staging. You can Google them to know. I don't need to. But these are the ones that do it. Pad Styler, those are the sites I got. They look to be the best because they have the same day delivery, and they have unlimited free revisions in case you get it as a stager and you're like, this is hideous. I want you to change that coffee table. I don't want a round circular one there that's red. So you could actually coordinate that if you wanted with your agent client. And they have a money back guarantee. So that is an option, I'm telling my stagers, rather than you think you're going to learn Photoshop overnight. Because exactly, Kimberly says, there are people doing it for $5. Just so you know, some of you wonder, what's their pricing? For 8 photos, it's still not super cheap. So that's why when I say it's this ultimate letdown. But if agents, if it's the only way to show a vacant home, I don't think that it is. So yeah, I had so many revisions from the agent, I actually lost money, Julie said. Yeah, I would never recommend any of you do it yourself. There are companies, these are probably people in India doing it. And if you want to try it, test it out for an agent and be the go-between, and you can tell the price, you can give them that information. So I have to address it because I know I'm getting some questions for Diane. So going back to eDesign, I thought you guys would appreciate this. I don't know if you could see it, but I thought it was pretty funny. Jan asked, is Pad Styler the one from Property Brothers? Yes. So Pad Styler, that's who the Property Brothers supposedly use, is Pad Styler for design plans. Not cheap, you guys, but that's the one they use. And they obviously don't do those themselves, right? They use a company that does it. And that's what I'm telling you guys to do. We're not going to immediately learn Photoshop overnight. We are focused on what you're really good at, and that's everything I've explained in this training with those remote consultations, walking them through the design, doing the staging that you do, and design, and the color. That's plenty for you. You don't need to learn Photoshop too. But Karen threw in, she's doing eDesign. She's in the eDesign training. And she put, she's naming her packages: $199 shelter in place, $499 spousal distancing, $799 spouse and child distancing, jokingly, and I thought that was pretty funny. So I like it. Let's see what else. All right, you guys, any other questions? I have to remind you that I know you guys wondered, on our training, homestagingresources.com, I am doing a limited time discount on all of my trainings. It's $50 off. That's always the best discount I've ever given and ever will get. Coupon code, all caps, well, it'll be capped, you got this. So I need to remind you that you got this during this time. So if you're on the fence, you want to learn something new, whether it's eDesign or color, I've had a lot of people do this. This is my offering to you right now because these are strange times. I love Jennifer says she's going to take the spouse and child distancing package, please. I know, right? I feel you, Jennifer. Any other questions? Jessica says, what if she is good with Photoshop? Worth it? I don't know, Jessica. Can you work $5 an hour like they're probably doing in India? I don't know. That's the point. Like there are ways that we make a whole lot more money. And that is, look at Deirdre. Deirdre, you're on the line. I love it. Do it. Welcome. You know I had to share your story. So there are lots of ways that we can showcase the things that we're good at, whether it's color, design, e-design. This is where we shine, and that's what we should be focusing on. Any other questions that I can walk you guys through? Nadia, staging and design. That's a 3-week intense course, like that's the one Deirdre took. That's the one that walks you through start to finish. And that's it. Yeah, and I've had a lot of people, Scarlett, who have asked me about membership in my training. I think you can learn from all of the trainings. I don't really even look at myself as competing with the other trainings out there. I think they all have something great to offer. This is a time of learning. I have taken a million different kind of how to create a course training. So, so it's not, you learn something if you can, but I get bottom line, things are tough for us. Can you show us the 1, 2, 3 image example for the script? Cindy, that I'm gonna, I need to give you guys the file. What am I doing here? Hold on, let me share. I'm sharing the resources for the April 8th happy hour. She wanted to know, Cindy, the link to the A to Z, all of the resources that I talked about in this is in there. Maggie, I recommend focusing on e-design. Good question. What's Deirdre, I think this, the e-design doesn't walk you through starting a successful business and how to market and all of that stuff. So like I talked a lot about marketing here. That's what is in my staging and design training. The e-design is a great add-on. It's like a springboard for after you take a staging and design. So a lot of interior designers who already have a business or stagers, they do the e-design course because it is a perfect add-on, just like the color is. Stacy said, some people say using stock website things don't work well via Google, need to be unique. This is an issue with your website. No, Stacy, it's not, because what happens is when somebody gets their site from us, even though it's template, they go in there and they edit it immediately. So it's okay. And so it all works. And in fact, because we use a fast and responsive design and it's WordPress, Google likes it better than most. So you just have to edit it. That's why I tell people you can't just use the text. Google's looking at text. So don't ever use the same text as someone else. Oh, Scarlett, thanks. I love it. I'm so glad you like it. You'll love the color course too. How do I keep the Canva files in Canva? Oh, edit. Mine are zip files. Somebody asked, Catherine, when you click on my link, it opens up a template and it just dumps it into your own Canva account. So it is always in your Canva account. So if you have a Canva question, I would just go through some of their tutorials. They're great. Yeah, the website, Rajiv, is $6.99 when someone signs up for the staging and design course. That design course is $9.99, but with the $50 discount, it's $9.49 and then $6.99. Exactly, Cindy. I love it. Be generous with your time. Don't worry about money right now. We can work this out. Any other question? You guys are great. Oh, okay, well, hold on one second. Again, we went through so much. Maggie, what's the best way to just email me? You've already gotten a million emails from me. You can email me. You can call us. We have a phone number, 1-888-563-9271 on our website, or just go to our website. There's a ton of information. Oh, Wendy, that's great. Oh, Wendy, you're in. I know. I just talked to you earlier. I saw your thing. And yes, you should have gotten a getting to know you form. How do you take pictures of vignettes close up with blurred backgrounds? Oh, that's a setting on your iPhone. Actually, I have a really good 2-minute video in my blog. So go to homestagingresources.com on how to make those photos in your phone just really shine, Instagrammable. It is like a 2-second, it'll take you 10 seconds to make every phone Instagrammable. Thank you, guys. Monica, it's just $100 a year hosting, or you can move your site to a different host. She was asking about the website. Do you just need to cover the age? Yeah, Monica, yeah. You don't need to even renew with us. I don't lock anyone in. I just say, just move your site, you move it to a different host who will I'll tell you what host, have a host that'll move it for you, but you always own it. It's yours. Thank you, Raeleen. Thank you guys. Okay, you're great. Okay, I will see you next week. Please email me, number one, send me your photos of you, your selfie if you have one, so I can share it next week. And I hope I do see you next week. If you have a question or you really want me to tackle something, all of this is from people like you who have said, Audra, I have a question about this, or I'd like to see how to make this work. And I'm happy to try and answer it so everybody benefits. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time, and take care and stay safe. All right. Bye-bye.